Hello, welcome to Benjamin Tree. Today we're going to be learning about the two functions substitute and replace. When we use these functions, we're taking a piece of text and we're going to pull something out of that text and replace it or substitute something new into that text. So let's go take a quick look on how we use them. So what our goal here is to change 2015 to 2016 in all of these different cells here. So let's see how this works. So first we're going to do the substitute method. Here we're going to hit equal, we're going to type in substitute, and we start our function with the parentheses. Here it's asking us what text do we want to use. So we want to use the text in A2. Next it's asking what is the old text we want to have substituted with something else. In this case, it's going to be a 5 because we're changing 2015 to 2016. Remember that this is text and not a number value, so we need to use quotations to say it's the 5. Next, it's asking what is the new text we want to put in, and we want to replace that 5 with a 6, so quotations with a 6. The last part is called instant num, and we don't need to talk about that right now. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but that's just an optional thing that we can do. I'm going to close the parentheses, hit enter, and you can see that 2016 budget has now appeared. Now let's look at the same activity, but let's use the phrase replace. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit equals replace. Now it's asking for the old text. What text are we going to have and that we're going to be using? So again, this is A2. And instead of asking for which text to replace, this is asking us where is the change going to start. So we're taking out that 5, and that 5 is the 4th character in. So we're going to be using the start num of 4. Next, it's asking us how many characters do we want to replace. In 2000, here we're only replacing the 5, so we're just going to put a 1 in there. Last, it's asking what is the new text that we want to put in there. So for this, we want to change the 5 to a 6, but this is going to be text, so we have quotations, and we put a 6 in there. We close our parentheses, and we hit enter. So as you can see, substitute and replace produce the same results, but they are a bit different. Substitute asks us what text we want to replace or substitute, and replace says where and how many characters do you want to replace. Now you might be saying, oh, it's just easier to just change that to 16, but if you have a lot of these to change, using the substitute will be much faster because you can just drag and drop there, or you can drag in the formula to different cells. The same with replace. We can just drag this formula down to the bottom. So this is a good way to change lots of text in very quick manner with just one function. Let's take a quick look to say what is easier to use. So what we want to do is take Section 5's 2015 report. So let's take a look at using substitute. We type in substitute. We're going to say the text is going to be B1, and the old text that we want to replace is going to be the 5 in 2015, and the new text that we want will be the 6 to become 2016. Okay, we're going to close this, but if you're paying attention, you might notice something. There's 2 5s in this text that we're trying to substitute. Let's see what happens. Now it says Section 6's 2016 report, and that's not what we wanted. So this is where the instance num comes in. It says which instance of the number 5 do we want to use. So there's 2 different 5s, but we want to use the second one. So we're going to make the instant num 2, and when we put it in, now it says Section 5's 2016 report. So that's where we use instant num. we can still use substitute, but there's a different pattern we can use. Let's try it out. Equals substitute. Our text is going to be B1. Now the old text we are pulling out is 2015 because this is easier than using the instant num because it's only one 2015 in there. And the thing that we are replacing it with is 2016. And since there's only one here, we don't have to make an instant num. So let's close this out and we get the same result. Section 5's 2016 report. Now let's look at replace. We're going to try replace here. I'm going to hit equals, replace. Okay, the old text that we're using is B1. Now the start number. I need to count out where this 5 is. So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I gotta go to the 16th start point, and I'm only replacing one character, and the new character is going to be a 6. There we go. Section 5's 2016 report. So you can see that in different situations, substitute might be easier than replace, and maybe replace will be easier. And also, we're going to be using these different functions and more complicated functions later. So it's good to know both of them. So now that you understand substitute and replace, you can go over to the practice. In this, you have a company, and in column A here, these are all the product numbers. What happens is the company wants to change the system or the product numbers. Instead of using slashes, they want to use dashes. So practice using the substitute method and the replace method and try to change these product numbers very quickly using these functions from a slash to a dash. And when you finish, you can come over to the answer key and check your answers. Well, I hope you learned a lot today and you're able to understand how to use the substitute and replace functions. If you have any questions, please comment below or go to the blog. Thank you and have a wonderful day.